cannot stare at this blank piece of paper anymore. Today is day 14 of 100 days of making comics, and here's a recap of the past 1 week. Oh yeah, by the way, I've got the haircut. Look, my hair is a lot shorter right now, so that means less head weight. Good thing. Week 2. To give you a whole recap of week 2 was very weird for me, meaning I was trying to figure out the story, trying to figure out the styles and the drawings, the kind of style I want to go for the comic, because I was on the wall, like cat on the wall phrase, you know, get the point. So I was like, I either want to go realistic or cartoonish, but I'm really leaning to a side where I'm doing this in a way that feels very cartoony, yet the story is the part where we make things realistic. This was a weird week. I did not know what I was doing. I was just sketching. I was trying to think of the story, sketching, writing the story, sketching, writing the story, just sketching and writing the story. Yeah. At first I thought I was like going too damn fast with this process. Now I realize that I'm not going slow enough. I need to go a lot slower in figuring out the story, because the story feels right at once when you write it, and after you write it and after you go back and look at it, it feels like it does not feel good, it doesn't look good, it doesn't sound good, right? Like I need to know. So here's what I'm gonna do. So the ultimate goal of this project is to create a 200-ish page comic. I know this is a lot, but yeah, that's what I'm aiming for. Sort of like a 2 or 3 volume comic, so 2 or 3 books. The span of 100 days, this 100 days, I am going to do a 24-page comic, which is going to be part of this 200-page comic, and it's going to be chapter 1 for this big project. Yay! Yeah, you cannot do 200 pages in 100 days, so that's why I'm like splitting it up. 24 pages for this round of 100 days. Probably after that I may do more, I may not do more. I mean, of course I will do more. But the goal is to create a 24-page comic and put it out. So out of the 100 days, I'm gonna spend 50 of those days to create the story and the illustrations and the concept art, because this whole thing is like a big freaking world with a lot of moving pieces, and I need to figure out every single thing before I actually commit to something big. People usually spend like 2 to 3 months in this process, and I'm just like spending 50 days. So that's like, it's a very small number. Why am I doing this very Casey Neistat-y? I feel very Casey Neistat-y. Ain't that right, Casey Neistat? So now that we decided to do a lot of illustrations, let me show you how I do an illustration from start to finish. So here's my drawing process. Okay, the first part of my process of drawing anything is called sculpting. I sculpt. Yes, I take a piece of pencil. Why do I keep saying piece of pencil? I take a color pencil and sculpt the character, the design that I have in mind, 2-dimensionally on paper. So that means me drawing big blocks of shapes and forms and trying to make 3-dimensional objects out of it on 2-dimensional surface, which is the paper. So yeah, I do a lot of scribbling at this stage, trying to find the design. Where was I? Okay, I try to find the design that I have in my mind through paper. So there's going to be a lot of scribblings and drubbing and erasing and all that. This is the only part of the process where I actually use an eraser, which I don't use an eraser a lot, but this is where I use it if I have to. Sometimes I just get it in the first try. Sometimes it just takes me more than 1 try. Like this time, it took me 3 times to get the sketch of this old man. So yeah, once I'm done with sculpting the character, pretty much which is called sketching, you can also call it sketching. So once I'm done with sketching the character, I have my basic guidelines. Now it's time for me to go in and ink this baby up. Sometimes you just use pencils, just leave it at pencils. But usually that's not enough for me. I need it to be a little bit more darker. So this is the part where I go and ink this thing with my Pentel brush pen and a bottle, ink bottle. This is probably one of the most asked questions on my channel. How do you ink your characters? What pen is that, Keshav Rathamel? What magical tool is that you're using in your hand? Well, my friend, I've told that 1,000 times down below in the comment section, but I'm gonna tell it again because I'm a very patient man. It's a Pentel pocket brush pen. It's a brush pen, and I use a ink bottle because the refills that come with it are too damn expensive. So ink bottles, it's a lot more cheaper and efficient. Like why buy those expensive things? Use that, spend that in a different productive way. So yeah, I use that brush pen and a bottle of ink, which I've tried and tested different bottles of ink, like Rotring, which works well. Brill is a brand that's not that good, it's very watery. The one that's kind of working right now is this called Parker? Yeah, it's a Parker Quink ink, kind of rhymes. So the process I'm outlining here is the process that I'm going to be using for the creation of my comic. The key here is to make it simple, time efficient, and hopefully, you know, it looks good. Now, the end result, whatever this process produces, it should look good, or else there's no point to doing all these things. So once we're done with the inking, it's time for coloring. Yay! So take a photograph of the drawing that I've made and take it into my computer and start my coloring process in Photoshop. Adobe Photoshop CC, that is the program that I use. My coloring process is actually fairly simple. It has 3 to 4 steps to it. Step 1 is called sketch lifting. I have fancy names, don't I? Sketch lifting is actually the part where you lift the sketch, the line drawing, from the paper that I've made. So I first do some bright... Yeah, that's right. That's right. This video is sponsored by all the cars that's passing by the road. Anyways, yeah, the first step is sketch lifting. Before that, I actually add some brightness and contrast to my photographs, clean up the background, and just remove the backgrounds and just take the sketch from the photograph. After I'm done with that, I do the sketch lifting. How do I do that? I press Ctrl-I and invert the layer of my main sketch, then copy that layer and paste it onto an alpha channel, then go select, load selection, and load this thing and just add black to it. So now the sketch is actually separate from the background, which is crazy. Yeah, this is crazy. It's a crazy technique. Yes, science! And in terms of my coloring, it's very, very simple. It's got 3 steps. Step 1, add flats, flat colors, the main colors of each and every single area, the skin, the hair, the body, the clothes, everything. Once I'm done with adding the flat colors, I go in and add the shadow colors, for which I use a dark purple tint-ish color, which will weirdly interact with the main colors, the flat colors, in a very beautiful way, which I've just found out, by the way, recently. It's a very good technique. So once I'm done with adding the shadow, I go back in to add the highlights, which is a very slight yellow color, which also interacts with the flat colors in a very beautiful way, which both of these things give the drawing a very orange teal effect, which is beautiful. Again, add another layer of white, which is the secondary highlights, that gives even more depth and more thing to the character. I like that. So once I'm done with that, add some gradients on top of the layers, and do some brightness and contrast adjustments, some color adjustments, and voila, bros and people, we're done with the drawing. We are done with the illustration, which is of the illustration of the old man. Check it out. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this episode, and that's end of week 2. Technically, I'm still editing week 2's episode right now, which by the way you're watching. I'm editing the video right there, and you're watching that video right here. Man, you're watching something that's not even created yet. Wow. I'm gonna end it right there.